I'm watching the election coverage, and obviously they're trying to predict who's going to win each state. And I love watching the way that they're working with the data to do it. It draws a unique parallel to how I want manufacturing companies to use their data in their business to make decisions. Uh, Look, so they're trying to predict who's going to win the state, and by doing this, they have current data: who's voted, what's been counted, what's been reported. They have their current data, and then they're able to run little trends within that current data based on county and demographics, and they have a prediction. But then it's deeper than that. It's an algorithm, it's a model, because they also have historical information and historical trends. And so they take their prediction and then they layer in the historical trends to balance out that prediction, kind of like a system of checks and balances. And once that prediction gets heavy enough to one side, then they make a decision on it. And then, like, they call who wins that state. And it's a unique parallel to the manufacturing company. Your analytics aren't there to make those decisions for you. If you want your data to make decisions, we're talking about artificial intelligence or machine learning and neural networks and those types of algorithms. We're not there yet, right? We need to get a solid data strategy in place. And in that, you still make the decision, right? So you're going to get current real-time data on your business, but you still need to understand your market, okay? And then you're also going to get historical information about your business, but you still need to understand your historical market and who you were as a business, how you served the market as it stood. Today you have your current information and you need to understand how are you serving the market as it stands, and then you're using these to run a prediction, but you still need to understand where is your business going, what's changing in your business that is still going to manipulate and affect the numbers that you have and the trends that you're looking at. And you also need to understand your market and what's changing in the market and how are you going to, is the data lining up to the strategy that you have as far as where your industry is going? At the end of the day, that data strategy, that's what it's doing, is giving you all the information that you need to make an informed decision. What's really nice about it, though, is that you can change your decision because the information is coming in such real time and you understand your markets in real time. You can make a decision and you can deploy it, and then 30 days later you can cut bait. You can know that it's a loser and you can make another decision and deploy that, and you can continue to do this, and you just watch. You don't have to make every right decision. You just continuously make decisions until you see them trending in the right direction, and then you double down on them. When you reach that point and you have your data strategy guiding those decisions, now you can start working with a data scientist on how, when I, as a human, am seeing these types of trends, this is the decision that I make. And we can start factoring in those different inputs. And we can run neural networks to look at those inputs over time. We can take the decision that was made, and then we can also see what the outcome was. And we can decide, when you make those decisions, are you right or are you wrong? I think this really applies right now to supply chains. I was reading a bunch of articles today about how supply chains are all predicting to be a shit show at Christmas this year. There's predicted to be shortages of so many things. Amazon just published a super sale or something today's early. I think everybody's trying to get earlier and earlier, kind of just in general, but especially right now because they want to understand what all these orders are and start getting them out the door. So I think about trying to predict who's going to be the president. You're kind of trying to predict, for some of you, you're trying to predict, when is my material going to get here? Fashion companies, when are they going to get that done and put it on the ship and get it over here? Some of you are more worried about delivering it to your customer. Maybe you're in the construction industry, you have weather. It's starting to get cold now, right? You got a bunch of variables that you can't even control, and you're trying to figure out when you're going to be able to get it to the customer. When are you going to get that shipment to the site just in time when it's needed? Some of you are just working in a shop and you're trying to figure out the ship date just to get it to the customer. The customer wants to buy a date, and can I deliver it on that date? Regardless of what you're trying to predict, you use data to understand exactly where you stand in that chain. And if we talk about material coming in from overseas and you have data that is showing the box that is inside the container that is on the ship that just hit a port and checked in, and you can see the weather and how it's impacting that ship and how that ship has performed over time. You start layering that same conversation we had, but just on that ship and that vessel as it crosses that port. And you do that over and over and over and over again in all aspects of your supply chain. And I'll tell you what, you start to get a good understanding of exactly when you need to order stuff, when stuff is coming in, when it's going to hit your production. It's not a secret sauce, and it's not like a piece of magic. It's not something that this impossible feat of how could I ever get all my data in line so that it can make decisions for me is a bad way to look at it. It's never going to be that perfect, but it's going to allow you to use your intuition and allow you to make decisions. And anybody who's been in a successful position as an executive in a large company making decisions like this understands that you don't always make the right decisions, and that's part of the game. And that's what this provides you. It provides you the cushion to be able to make the wrong decision and correct it, and be able to make the right decision and be confident about it. It's extremely powerful.